Hey everybody, I'm Matt Jeffrey. Welcome to another World of Warships ship review. And today I'm going to take a look at the Minekadze, the Tier 5 Japanese destroyer. This is another one of those ships that everybody calls overpowered, but in reality the deal with it is that it is a very good ship that in the hands of a skilled player is very, very deadly. I don't think it's overpowered because, to be honest, I haven't been killed by Minekazes that much. So, again, if you pay attention, if you anticipate a destroyer being somewhere, you can take evasive maneuvers. Right, so let's just jump in and look at some of the stats in the port, and then I have a replay prepared for you. So stats in the port: survivability, 10,900 hit points, nothing to shout about. Air defenses, yeah, it has air defense guns. That's all you need to know. You're not gonna use them. They're not very efficient. You should probably try to shoot down spotter aircraft if they are spotting you anyway. But other than that, keep the guns, the AA guns, turned off because they're not a big help. The nice thing about this destroyer, though, is the torpedoes. In fact, are the torpedoes and the concealment and the combination of the two. Now, the torpedoes have a range of 7 kilometers, while your ship has a surface detection range of 6.2 kilometers. It says 6 kilometers for me here because I have the camouflage here, so it drops that by 0.2 kilometers. But what this means is that you can shadow an enemy ship like a cruiser or a battleship, and keep them just outside of detection range but within torpedo range, and just shoot at them. And this is something that you can really nicely do in the Minekadze. This is also helped by the fact that it has a very nice 39.4 knots top speed with a very good rudder shift time of 2.1 seconds. But the maximum speed is the key here. This ship is very fast, and that's really nice about it. And it's kind of it's one of the reasons why people get so disappointed when they move from the Minekadze to the Mutsuki and the Hatsuharu up at the higher tiers. Now, the torpedoes, like I said, 7-kilometer range. It has 3 torpedo launchers that can fire on both sides of the ship. The deal breaker here is that it only gets 6 torpedoes, so 2 in each tube. That's not much of a big deal though, because it does have a fairly good reload of 42 seconds. I think this reload is with some skills I have here. Yeah, I think I got this skill. Yeah. But anyway, the reload is pretty good, so that's nice. Another good thing about it is that, having 3 torpedo tubes means that you can fire 2 torpedo tubes and keep one in reserve in case you might need it. And the reload on the other 2 is going to be so good that, even if you do end up using the last torpedo tube, then the previous 2 are going to reload fast enough for you to re-engage whatever target you need to engage. So that's really nice, having 3 torpedo tubes. The problem with ships that have a lot of torpedo tubes mounted in just 2 torpedo launchers is that if they fire both of them, then they have to wait a long time to reload, and they don't have any torpedoes. And another problem that you see with torpedo launchers that have a lot of tubes is that the spread actually increases the further the torpedoes get from the ship. So even if you do have a long range on your torpedoes and you fire a tight spread, the torpedoes are gonna spread very much by the time they reach maximum distance anyway, so that's a bit problematic. But yeah, one last thing to talk about before we move on to the gameplay footage I prepared for you guys: the guns. Now, the guns, nothing special. It's a Japanese destroyer. Japanese destroyers don't get exceptionally good guns. I mean, not comparable to what the Americans get and what the Russians are gonna get. But the thing with the guns on the Minekadze is that you can work with them. So they have a 21.2 second 180-degree turn time, which is, you know, not great, but it's not bad. And they have a 6 round a minute rate of fire, so that means a 10-second reload. And it gets 4 of them. So, you know, the guns, while you should never count on using them, you can definitely use them if the situation requires it. So yeah, that's pretty much it from the port side. Let's take a look at some gameplay footage. So I'm here on the ocean map in the Minekadze, and after messing around doing really nothing at the beginning of the match, all I have to show for is an aircraft shot down. Now that aircraft being shot down was shot down by me and a New York shooting at a torpedo bomber squadron for about 15 to 20 seconds. So, you know, the combined AA guns of our ships only managed to shoot that aircraft down. So yeah, not very reliable. Anyway, I'm heading for this St. Louis. I'm thinking of getting me a little St. Louis booty, but it looks like he has problems of his own, and judging by how this is going, I might not get to do anything to that guy. Yeah, that guy took some big hits, and it looks like he's going to die. And yep, St. Louis is gone, so time to find something else to sink in the Minekadze. Now, again, coming back to the overpowered, you know, nature of this ship, I really don't think it's overpowered. I mean, it's a good destroyer, but the problem with destroyers is, if you're gonna let them, if you're not gonna pay attention, you know, if you're gonna let them play their game, then they're gonna have a good game, you know. So it's really down to paying attention to where torpedoes are coming from, you know, taking evasive action, anticipating where this destroyer is gonna be, and I think that's an Minekadze. So again, I looked at the map, I looked at the torpedoes that were incoming, and I knew there was a destroyer over here, so I moved in to intercept. And now, if I was fighting an American destroyer, this wouldn't have been so great, but I'm fighting a Japanese destroyer, and he doesn't have any more torpedoes now. So I'm gonna take the risk of going into a gunfight with this guy, because I know I can take him out, but still, see, he did quite a bit of damage to me, even though his guns are worse than mine. And as you can see, you know, the guns on the Minekadze, serviceable, but, you know, don't try to rely on them too much. And I think, yep, that punches this guy's ticket. So Minekadze's dead. And the really nice thing is that he left a smoke screen, which I can now use to kill all those guys in the distance. Thank you, Mr. Minekadze.
Engine boost deactivated.
Now, coming back to the overpowered issue of destroyers, the best counter against destroyers are other destroyers or cruisers. And now if your destroyers go out and kill themselves in the first 2 minutes of the match, and your cruisers are basically acting like tanks and just going in guns blazing like Rambo style against the entire enemy fleet, and they die, naturally you in your big battleship are going to be left to fend off destroyers on your own, and that's not really the point of this game. You know, battleships, you know, while they can kill destroyers, shouldn't be forced to take on destroyers on their own, you know. But yeah, I do not think that destroyers are overpowered in this game, because I have seen so many people who were paying attention to what destroyers were doing and didn't allow themselves to get killed by destroyers. Now I get spotted, and it looks like there's a St. Louis very close to me, so I'm gonna put some torpedoes in the water and I'm gonna get the hell out of there, because the St. Louis can be a very, very deadly ship to a destroyer. Yeah, incoming fire over there. Managed to avoid it.
Smoke screen set.
This is when the speed and the maneuverability of this ship really come into play, and that was a good hit on that St. Louis. I'm just gonna put a couple of more speculative shots in the water there, and I'm gonna use my guns to finish that St. Louis off. you know, it's worth it. It has dangerous guns, and I might as well just get the kill. Bingo. Nice hit there. And now I'm steaming off in the other direction, and I think that's an Omaha putting some shots into me. But yeah, the key with taking out, or you know, canceling destroyers out is not playing into their game. So, you know, try to avoid going around corners, around islands where you think a destroyer is going to be, and avoid, you know, steaming ahead directly into a smoke screen that a destroyer has set up, because that's usually going to end with you, you know, at the bottom of the ocean. So what you're seeing me do right now is I am shadowing that Miyoko, I think it's a tier 4 Japanese battleship. So what you see me do here is I'm staying just outside of his detection range, but within my torpedo range, and I'm just spamming torpedoes at him. And I only got one hit there, but I'm putting another shot, you know, another spread of torpedoes in the water. And all that Miyoko has to do is slow down, you know, or just turn. I mean, I just hit him with a torpedo. He knows I'm here, you know. He might not know exactly where I am, but he definitely knows there's a destroyer. So what you do when a destroyer is shooting at you, when you've just taken a torpedo, is that you start turning, you know, you pay attention. That's not what this Miyoko is doing, so bye-bye, Mr. Miyoko. And you might be sitting there thinking, this is definitely overpowered, because that Miyoko couldn't see me, he could only see the torpedoes when it was too late. And it is not overpowered, because what should have happened here is that Miyoko should have paid attention to the torpedo warning alert he gets when torpedoes are close, and if he just slowed down and started turning, he would not have taken all those torpedoes. Simple as that. One thing I did forget to mention is the speed of the torpedoes. It is pretty good. It's actually very good, so they will get to their 7-kilometer range very fast. Now I get spotted by this Omaha, and I'm putting some return fire into him with the guns because he's in the cap circle, and our teams are both capping. The only difference is my team doesn't seem to really be capping while they are actually capping. I take a hit there, I get set on fire, and I put out the fire, and I think I'm gonna put some more torpedoes in this guy's direction. But you know, just to give you a spoiler, this Omaha does not get hit by a single torpedo I fire at him this entire game, and I think I fire at least a dozen torpedoes. I mean, I haven't counted, and I'm not gonna count because I'm too lazy to do that, but I put a lot of torpedoes in this guy's direction, and he never gets hit by them because he's paying attention. Even if he's not shooting at me, even if I'm not spotted, he knows there's a destroyer around here, and he's not gonna fall for it. So, well played, Mr. Omaha. And you know, the cap counter for them is growing, while for us, not really. So I need to put some shots into this guy and reset the cap. But the thing is, there's also another battleship in the cap circle, so I need to put some shots into him as well if I want to completely reset the cap. So I'm taking a big risk here, because that Omaha, if he has a good aim, he can finish me off really quickly. But I get the interruption on that battleship, and now that I did, it's time to, you know, turn ninja again and just get out of their spotting distance, spotting range, and plan my next move. Right now, again, both our teams are capping, but their team keeps interrupting our cap, so I'm the only one here in a position to interrupt these guys from winning. So this is my focus right now. I need to, you know, harass these guys and make sure that they don't cap, but I don't need to actually engage them in a full-on fight, because I'm gonna lose. especially against that Omaha. Omahas have really good guns and they just eat destroyers up. So my job here is to make sure these guys get interrupted from time to time. But yeah, I need to be careful because that Omaha knows what he's doing. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a couple of torpedoes in the water against this battleship, and I'm gonna turn my guns to the Omaha. I want to reset one more time, and the cap is like almost, is pretty much halfway up for them, so I need to shoot and reset that Omaha. The torpedoes are going towards the battleship and I'm going towards the Omaha, and I shoot at the Omaha. Yep, I get the interrupt, and these torpedoes look like, yeah, they're on target. Oh, bingo. What a kill. What a kill on that battleship. He was actually unlucky because he wasn't, at one point he wasn't actually steaming in a straight line, but he's dead, so that's a kill for me. And yeah, I fire some more torpedoes at this Omaha, but they're never gonna hit. He's too good to get hit by torpedoes. So I'm just gonna stick to using the guns. He's also the last guy left on the enemy team, so he's putting some fire into me, but he's not gonna last long, and I don't think I get the kill on this guy. I put some shots into him, I set him on fire, but I do not believe that I get the kill. So yeah, hopefully this has shown you what the Minekadze can do when you drive it well. I don't drive it like this in every game, but, and I don't get opportunities like this in every game, but yeah, hopefully this was a good indication of what this ship can do. And yeah, this is pretty much it for this review. I did 130,000 damage in this game, as you can see in the post-game results. And I guess that's it for today. I will see you in the next video. Take care, bye-bye.